Hello there, my name is Katie Martin, and I'm excited to get up close and personal with you today and spend a few minutes sharing insights on a concept of managing within organizations large and small. I will introduce you to the 4 functions of management in hopes of giving you foundational knowledge on this subject as you continue your studies in business and perhaps become a manager yourself or simply appreciate and support those who are doing it well in today's ever-evolving workforce. For those of you who have been in the workforce for any period of time, think back to a manager you valued. They likely were not perfect, but they did what Stephen Robbins and Timothy Judge describe management to be in the book Organizational Behavior. They got things done by working through other people. Perhaps one of those people was you. Depending on what type of role you had within the organization or business you were with, or maybe, you may or may not have seen the many aspects that go into being a manager. There are decisions to be made, resources to allocate, problems to overcome, and strategic goals to be met. Like an onion, there are many layers to management. Our text this week by Robbins and Judge help us peel and dissect these layers by describing the 4 functions of management as planning, organizing, leading, and controlling. The first function is planning, which is described in our text as the process of getting goals down on paper, establishing strategy, and developing the tactics and activities to achieve success. The great Winston Churchill said, "He who fails to plan is planning to fail." In my nonprofit organization, strategic planning is key. It is the basis and backbone of everything we do, and it's translated into monthly goals and deliverables for every person within our organization, starting with our CEO, and extending to all those on our payroll and even our faithful volunteers. Each month, we assess and evaluate how our plans are coming along. We determine if our annual goals will be met and make adjustments as needed. In one of my favorite books, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, Stephen Covey says that effective people begin with the end in mind. In the book, this goes much deeper and is more complex than just the workplace, but it applies to managers as well. To know what steps you have to take, to know who you need to hire, you must begin with the end in mind. This is what the planning function for managers is all about. The next function of management is organization. 1 Corinthians 14:33 says, "For God is not a God of disorder, but of peace." I love this verse, and I think of it often when my office gets a bit messy or chaotic. But chaos goes deeper than a messy desk in preventing a plan to come to fruition. After the planning phase, it is the manager's responsibility to bring order and organization to the plan, determining who will tackle specific tactics, what timeline it will be accomplished in, what decisions need to be made, and more. In addition to the critical planning and organizational functions, the next function is leading. This is the function that many think of when they think of a manager. It includes motivating, recognizing, and engaging employees. It is likely the first function to be sorely missed if there is a leading deficit within the organization. And finally, this function also includes the not-so-fun part of management, resolving conflicts, which are inevitable in the role of a manager. The final function of managing that I want to share with you today is the controlling function. Our textbook defines this activities to ensure goals are being accomplished as planned and correcting any significant deviations. This can include anything from having to develop a plan, an action plan for an employee who's not meeting job requirements, to making the often difficult decision to cull the team through the termination of an employee that may not be a good fit for the organization. In a book called Letters from Leaders, a book I highly recommend for an inspiring read, dozens of top leaders and managers around the world shared letters to those in leadership roles or those who hope to be in the future. I will leave you with one note Diana DeGette shared in her letter during a time in her career when she was finishing her 6th term in Congress. She said, "Whatever your interest is, whether science, public health, military affairs, or the environment, you can immerse yourself and have a fulfilling career that also has the benefit of changing lives. Best of luck. You are our future leaders." And I will personally add, you are our future successful managers.